Have you ever found yourself trapped in the endless cycle of comparing your life to others? Scrolling through social media, feeling like you're not enough, or wondering why their success seems so effortless? Comparison doesn't just steal your joy, it drains your energy, clouds your focus, and holds you back from fully embracing your own potential. If you still feel stuck in a cycle of comparison and self-doubt, feeling inferior to others, then join me on this journey to find your true self-worth. In this video, we're diving into the timeless wisdom of Buddhism to uncover 8 transformative lessons that will help you break free from the trap of comparison. These lessons will show you how to redirect your energy toward personal growth, celebrate your uniqueness, and find peace in the present moment. No fluff, no complicated theories, just practical, actionable insights you can start applying today to transform how you see yourself and the world around you. Now, let's get started. Lesson 1. Identify the source of comparison. Comparison starts with our desire to define our worth through external validation. The Buddha taught, all suffering comes from attachment. When we attach our value to others' achievements, we give them power over our peace of mind. This is the essence of why comparison often becomes a source of frustration and self-doubt. In the teachings of the Buddha, this attachment stems from a deeper cause, craving. It represents our clinging to the idea that external success, appearance, or possessions define our worth. When we compare, we are unknowingly feeding this craving, creating an endless loop of dissatisfaction. The more we focus on others, the more we disconnect from our own inner value. Recognizing this root cause is the first step toward liberation from the harmful effects of comparison. Understanding this begins with self-awareness. When you compare yourself to others, what are you truly seeking? Is it recognition, acceptance, or a sense of accomplishment? These feelings are valid, but they cannot be fulfilled by looking outward. Buddha's wisdom reminds us that by tying our happiness to external factors, we give away control over our peace of mind. The antidote lies in shifting our focus inward, reclaiming our worth from within. To apply this lesson, start by identifying your triggers for comparison. Is it scrolling through social media and seeing others' curated lives? Is it hearing about a colleague's success? Or perhaps it's the pressure of family expectations. Awareness is key. Take a moment to pause and ask yourself, what am I truly seeking through these comparisons, and why? You can write down your thoughts in a journal. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns, specific situations or individuals that prompt these feelings. Once identified, you can start detaching from these triggers and instead focus on what truly matters to you. The benefits of practicing this awareness are profound. By understanding the root of your comparison, you gain clarity about your values and priorities. You'll find that the weight of external validation begins to lift, allowing you to focus on your unique journey. This clarity fosters a sense of inner peace, helping you shift from self-doubt to self-acceptance. It transforms comparison from a source of suffering into an opportunity for growth. Lesson 2. Understanding the impermanence of life. Not understanding impermanence is also one of the major reasons why you constantly compare yourself to others. Buddhism teaches that everything is impermanent, including the successes and failures we compare ourselves to. As the Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. What you see in others' lives today may not reflect their full journey. The successes you admire or the failures you fear are just a small part of the overall picture, always changing with the flow of time. Impermanence is one of the core principles of Buddhism, reminding us that all things and phenomena do not last forever. This means that everything, from our emotions, possessions, fame, to our very lives, is constantly changing. The success you compare yourself to may be the pinnacle of others today, but it may not be the same tomorrow. Conversely, The difficulties you are facing will not last forever. Understanding this will help you let go of your attachment to unrealistic standards and live more freely with yourself. The point of this lesson is to shift your perception from attachment to acceptance. Understanding impermanence will help you realize that life is a constant flow of opportunities, changes, and lessons, rather than a fixed state of being judged or compared. Start practicing this lesson by focusing on the lasting values within yourself instead of focusing on fleeting comparisons. When you feel yourself getting caught up in competition, remind yourself, their success is temporary, as are my difficulties. When you embrace impermanence, you no longer feel the pressure to meet unnecessary standards. You see yourself with acceptance and compassion, understanding that both success and failure are fleeting experiences. This allows you to de-stress and focus on developing the things that truly add value to your life. Life is not a race to achieve greatness, but a journey of constant change, where each step is a lesson. When you understand and accept impermanence, you find the freedom to let go of comparison and instead live fully in the present. Lesson 3. Avoid the illusion of social media. Realizing impermanence helps us see clearly the illusions around us, especially from social media. Social media also feeds a culture of comparison. Yet, what we see online is rarely the full truth. The Buddha reminds us, what we see is not always what is. Scrolling through endless posts, we are often drawn into a world of curated perfection, filtered images, carefully edited captions, and idealized moments. People make us see what they want us to see. These snapshots create an illusion that others are living flawless lives, leaving us feeling inadequate in comparison. Understanding this allows us to see social media for what it is, a selective portrayal, not the complete picture. This understanding invites us to rethink how we engage with social media. By doing so, we free ourselves from the toxic cycle of comparing our behind-the-scenes lives to the highlights of others. Recognizing this illusion allows us to reclaim our peace of mind and redirect our focus toward what truly matters. To practice this, begin by setting boundaries with your social media usage. Start with mindful breaks. Dedicate specific times during the day to step away from your phone or computer. Use apps or timers to limit how long you spend scrolling. Additionally, curate your feed by unfollowing accounts that make you feel pressured, envious, or inadequate. Instead, follow pages or individuals who inspire growth, positivity, and self-acceptance. Use the time you save to engage in activities that uplift you, such as meditation, exercise, or creative pursuits. By reducing exposure to unrealistic portrayals, you will begin to feel more grounded and content with your own life. Your mental space will be clearer, free from the constant noise of comparison. This clarity allows you to focus on your personal goals and values without being swayed by external influences. You will also rediscover the joy of authentic connections, both with yourself and the people who truly matter in your life. Lesson 4. Celebrate your uniqueness. When you take the time to look deep within yourself and reconnect with yourself, you will realize the truth that each of us is born as a unique individual. The Buddha reminded us, your work is to discover your world and give your whole heart to it. No two lives are the same, just as no two leaves on a tree are identical. Yet, in a world that often celebrates conformity and comparison, we can easily lose sight of what makes us special. The Buddha say that every being has a purpose, and fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your true nature. Trying to imitate others or conform to societal expectations distances you from this truth. Instead of chasing after someone else's path, why not celebrate your own? Why be others when you can be yourself? The beauty of life lies in its variety, and your uniqueness is your greatest strength. Whenever you find yourself start comparing, ask yourself, what are my greatest strengths? What values guide my decisions? What passions make me come alive? Take time to identify the qualities that set you apart, whether it's your creativity, compassion, resilience, or determination. Each day, focus on one and think about how you can nurture and celebrate it. For example, if you value kindness, find small ways to practice it, like helping a colleague or offering words of encouragement. By affirming your individuality in this way, you begin to shift your focus inward to build your inner strength. As you celebrate your individuality, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of positivity and acceptance. This is an invitation to be the best version of yourself. When you honor your uniqueness, you align with a great purpose in life and open the door to a life of meaning. In this way, celebrating your individuality is not only a gift to yourself, but also to the world. Lesson 5. Practice gratitude for your journey. As you learn to embrace yourself, gratitude will help you focus on the good things that have come your way. Comparison often blinds us to what we already have. Gratitude, however, redirects our focus. The Buddha advised, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little." In a world driven by comparison, it's easy to overlook the abundance in our lives while chasing what others have. Practicing gratitude is about shifting that perspective, focusing on the present and acknowledging the blessings already within your grasp. In Buddhist teachings, gratitude, katanyutta, is a cornerstone of inner peace and happiness. The Buddha taught that being thankful for what we have, no matter how small, cultivates a mind free from greed and discontent. Gratitude is not just an act, it's a way of seeing the world, an art of living. When we cultivate gratitude, we stop measuring our worth against others, and instead find joy in the unique path we're walking. This is not about ignoring challenges or struggles, but about recognizing the light that exists even in the midst of darkness. Practicing gratitude begins with simple steps. Start each day by acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how minor they may seem. It could be the warmth of the morning sun, the sound of birds outside your window, or even the breath you take as you wake up. Throughout the day, whenever you feel overwhelmed by comparison or frustration, take a moment to pause and reflect on one positive thing in your life. Gradually, you'll find it easier to notice and embrace every small things in life. The benefits of gratitude extend far beyond a momentary sense of happiness. When you practice gratitude consistently, you cultivate resilience, as it helps you shift your focus from lack to abundance. It reduces stress and promotes a positive outlook on life, enabling you to approach challenges with greater clarity and strength. Gratitude also deepens your relationships with others, as it fosters kindness and appreciation for the support and connections you share. Gratitude is a simple yet transformative practice. It teaches us to cherish what we have rather than yearning for what we lack. When we embrace gratitude, we begin to see life not as a competition, but as a gift, one that is filled with opportunities for growth, joy, and connection. By appreciating your journey and all it encompasses, you create space for a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment to blossom within you. Lesson 6. Redirect energy toward personal growth. Practicing gratitude helps you realize that the most important thing is to focus on your own journey, appreciating your own growth, instead of spending energy comparing yourself to others' achievements. Comparison drains energy that could be invested in your growth. As the Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." When we focus excessively on what others are doing or achieving, we lose sight of our own journey. This mental energy, which could be directed toward self-improvement, is instead wasted on envy, frustration, or feelings of inadequacy. Redirecting that energy back to yourself is the key to unlocking your potential. In Buddhism, the concept of right effort, one of the Eightfold Path, encourages us to focus our energy on actions that promote growth and well-being. The Buddha taught that instead of scattering our efforts on distractions or negative thoughts, we should channel them into developing qualities that nurture our mind and spirit. This principle is deeply tied to personal growth, shifting the focus from comparing ourselves to others toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Just as a gardener tends to their own garden, cultivating its beauty without worrying about the neighbor's flowers, we too must concentrate on nurturing our inner strengths and aspirations. The meaning of this lesson lies in reclaiming your power to grow. Imagine a runner on a track who keeps glancing at the competitors beside them. They lose focus and slow down, not because they aren't capable, but because they're distracted by others. In contrast, the runner who concentrates on their own lane and their own rhythm achieves their best performance. Life is no different. By directing your energy inward, you create a path where growth, rather than comparison, becomes your primary motivation. To practice this, start by identifying areas of your life where you'd like to improve. Is it your health, a skill, or a creative passion? Set small, achievable goals that align with your values and interests. For example, if you want to improve your fitness, commit to a daily 15-minute walk. If you're eager to learn a new skill, dedicate 20 minutes a day to practicing it. Use the time and mental space you previously spent comparing yourself to others to take consistent action toward these goals. Celebrate each small victory along the way. It's proof that your efforts are paying off. The benefits of redirecting your energy are transformative. First, you'll feel more in control of your life as you focus on what you can change rather than what you can't. This brings a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment as you see tangible results from your efforts. Second, it reduces stress and anxiety by shifting your focus away from external pressures and back to your own progress. Lastly, this practice fosters resilience and self-confidence as you discover that your growth is not limited by others' successes, but driven by your own determination. Redirecting energy toward personal growth is not just about improving your skills or achieving your goals. It's about creating a mindset of self-reliance and purpose. By investing in yourself, you build a foundation for long-term happiness and fulfillment. Lesson 7. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others. In the process of self-development, you will realize that compassion for yourself and others is indispensable. Learn to cultivate compassion. When we compare ourselves, we often judge ourselves harshly while idealizing others. The Buddha said, "You, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection." This profound teaching reminds us that compassion must begin with how we treat ourselves. Without it, we fall into the trap of self-criticism and envy, which not only damages our self-worth, but also distorts how we view the success of others. Cultivating compassion is about breaking this cycle and embracing both ourselves and others with kindness and understanding. In Buddhist teachings, compassion is a fundamental practice that fosters harmony within and around us. The Buddha emphasized that we are all interconnected, and the joy or suffering of one inevitably affects others. When we feel inadequate, it often stems from the false belief that success is finite. If someone else succeeds, there's less left for us. However, the Buddha's wisdom teaches that success and potential are limitless. The achievements of others do not diminish our own opportunities. Instead, they add richness to the collective human experience. Understanding this truth helps us reframe the way we perceive success and failure. When we replace envy with joy for others' accomplishments, we shift from competition to connection. Compassion also requires turning inward. It means accepting that we are imperfect beings, capable of growth and deserving of kindness. Just as a gardener nurtures a struggling plant instead of discarding it, we too must nurture our strengths and forgive our weaknesses. To practice this, start with self-compassion. When feelings of inadequacy arise, notice your self-talk. Are you criticizing yourself harshly? Replace those thoughts with words of encouragement, such as, "I'm doing my best and that's enough." Daily affirmations like, "I am worthy of love and success," can also reinforce this mindset. Next, Extend your compassion outward. When you see someone succeed, pause and acknowledge their effort and achievement. You can say silently to yourself, "I'm happy for them and wish them continued success." If appropriate, express this sentiment directly. It strengthens bonds and fosters mutual respect. By practicing compassion, you transform comparison from a source of negativity into an opportunity for growth and connection. You come to see that life is a shared journey where celebrating others' successes enriches your own. When you cultivate kindness toward yourself and others, you create a life filled with joy, understanding, and an unshakable sense of worth. Lesson 8. Anchor yourself in the present moment. When you cultivate compassion, you not only build deeper connections with yourself and others, but you also open yourself up to living more fully. And for compassion to truly be powerful, you need a solid foundation, being present in the moment. The Buddha taught, "The secret of health for mind and body is not to mourn the past or worry about the future, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly." This wisdom highlights the importance of anchoring ourselves in the now, where life is unfolding and where we can make meaningful choices. In Buddhist philosophy, mindfulness is the practice of maintaining awareness of the present moment without judgment. The Buddha emphasized that attachment to the past or anxiety about the future creates suffering, as these states of mind disconnect us from the reality of the present. When we compare ourselves to others, it often involves dwelling on past failures or projecting fears into the future, neither of which serve our growth or happiness. Grounding ourselves in the present allows us to break free from these patterns and focus on what truly matters. This lesson invites us to shift our attention from what if to what is. Imagine looking at a tree. If you're consumed by thoughts about how it grew in the past or how tall it might become in the future, you miss the beauty of its existence in this moment. Similarly, when we fixate on comparisons, we miss the unique value of our own lives as they are right now. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring goals or challenges. It means fully experiencing each step of the journey without being weighed down by unnecessary distractions. Practicing mindfulness in daily life is simpler than it seems. It is to engage fully in routine activities, such as eating, walking, or even washing dishes. Pay attention to the sensations, sounds, and movements involved. These moments of presence build a habit of mindfulness that extends to every aspect of life. Anchoring yourself in the present moment transforms how you experience life. Instead of being caught in the endless cycle of comparison and regret, you find freedom and fulfillment in the here and now. This is where your power lies, where you can take action, grow, and truly embrace your unique journey. By living wisely and earnestly in the present, you create a life rich in meaning and peace. Breaking free from comparison isn't an overnight process, but the 8 lessons we explored today offer a clear and transformative path. From understanding the root of comparison to embracing your uniqueness, practicing gratitude, cultivating compassion, and anchoring yourself in the present moment, each step empowers you to reclaim your energy and focus it on what truly matters, your own growth and happiness, your unique self. Start applying these lessons today, even in small ways, and you'll begin to notice profound shifts in how you see yourself and the world. Remember, it's not about perfection, but progress. Your journey is unique, and every mindful step brings you closer to a life filled with purpose and peace. If this message inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and keep walking your own path.